your charger?
Huh?
The charger?
Oh yeah, I got it from Justin. Oh, okay. Gimme ya, gimme yam, gimme yay. Give them the money so they could take it away. Off to go exploit, bon voyage. Yeah, from the home of the U.S. squad. United States killer bees on a swarm. Rain on our poverty-ass housing doors. For you to even touch our skill, you gotta put the one killer bee and he ain't gonna kill. Now chop that down, pass it all around. Cash get hard, quick cement to the ground. For any capitalist in any 50 states, I get psycho, killer, Norman Bates. Capitalism, imperialism, where's the justice? Exploiting one's land, that's the ruckus. U.S. government ain't nothing to fuck with. Private owners for profit, free enterprise, that's what's fucking up the poor people's lives.
FHS notes. Andreas Bonifacio was born in Tondo, Philippines, November 30th, 1863. He was an Indio and came from a lower-class family. He was open-minded and founded the Katipunan. People saw him as the first unofficial president of the Philippines. Jose Rizal was an Ilustrado and came from a privileged family. He studied in other countries and believed in negotiating peace for equality and reform. He wrote, I can't say it, but he wrote the books Noli Me Tangere El Filibusternizo. I don't know what it's called, but on May 10th, 1897, Bonifacio was executed at age 34, and the votes had been rigged to let Aguinaldo take his leadership, and yeah.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Just kidding. Open your eyes and tell me, what do you see? Does the world that we live in share equality? We live in a generation where not enough people care. Companies enslaving their workers, the government having control over their countries, keeping 90% of the population with little or no money. In the world we live in, we are born to work, to make money for capitalists that treat us like dirt. Is this really the line of opportunity? Are the people really happy in this freedom community? The question is, what can we do? We need to wake up before all of us wind up ending up bankrupt. Do you want to be a slave? Want to be a slave in debt? Often you gotta wonder, what will happen next? The government's persuasion and propaganda abilities are nothing but illusions, making the people feel safe and free, but believing the media all the time is not the solution. Build, unite, become one. We need to fight, resist, do not run. Isang Bagsak, one down, one fall. We can work together and fight this brawl.
Philippines, my Philippines. Land of the smiling, caring population. Many nations have taken advantage of you, corrupted you, spoiled you, ruined you. For centuries you stood still. Now, the young has no love for you. The strong has abandoned you. Your people desire nothing from you. In spite of all of these, Philippines, oh my Philippines, you nonetheless are too kind, too gentle, too naive to understand that you are being used. Now you are drained, exhausted, consumed of hatred nightmare. Stop! Bring back respect you always deserve. Restore your liberty. It is time. There is still time. For if there is a spark of breath, there is life. And if there is life, there is hope. Wake up! Wake up. Open your eyes. Open your mind. Move onward. Though, remember your past. Unpleasant history should not last. Revitalize your glory. Forget your worry. For you are Philippines, my Philippines.
They will never give up until the whole race until they have reached the goals. The Filipinos are strong-willed. They strive to achieve the goals no matter what. The goal to secure the future for the children and for the future generations. Who are we to stop them from achieving the goal? After all, we would want to achieve our goal at any cost, right? Now, let's put ourselves into an American soldier's shoes. You land on the shores of Manila Bay. ready to teach these savages a lesson they will never forget. But wait, what's that in the distance? Oh, that's just a Filipino rebel, nothing big. Now there's 2 of them. Now there's 10. Next thing you know, you're surrounded by the whole country. Okay, I was exaggerating that last part, but the message is still clear. They will never surrender until the whole race is exterminated. Now, let's put ourselves in the shoes of the Filipinos, or in this case, ang zapatos ang mga Filipinos. You see the Americans arriving on Middle Bay. You and your comrades have been under imperialist control for a very long time, even before the Americans came. Just when you think you got a chance of independence, just when you think you can taste the sweet, sweet freedom, BAM! Oops. Another imperialist nation has taken over, and then it's back to square one. But you were so close. Why not try again? But this time you win it. So you keep on fighting and fighting until you keep on, so you keep on fighting until you can just reach independence. But keep going. Don't just reach for it. Take it. Take it and hoard it like your life depends on it. It's true though. Your family becomes your life. Your kids become your life. Even their kids become your life. Now that you heard both sides, who will you support and who will get the boot? But before you answer that question, look around you. Many people are here because America took over their home country to help them become civilized. It is because of America that their home country got messed up and had to move here to find a better life, even though the best jobs aren't offered to immigrants, but are offered to those who were born here on this land and had ancestors migrated here. Wait, what? You can't get a good life because you're an immigrant, but you can get a CEO job just because you have immigrant blood? That can't be right, can it? But unfortunately, it is. Thank you.
Fine. Okay, so I'm here today to talk about how I got here. Parents sent me here because of the U.S. Since the U.S. invaded the Philippines, and why am I here is because of them. Sense of fear, hatred, and communication. Some kind of country we lived in. Sometimes good and sometimes bad, but mostly bad. Somewhere in the year 2012, got a phone call home saying my dad's in jail. He did no crime, and we paid it off. We did not get the money back. I used to be rich, now I'm poor, since to live in the streets.
A few years back, in a classroom where they teach history, the teacher was talking about that U.S. helps third world countries. And I'm wondering how many people are ignorant of the true history of the blood and the tears shed by the Filipino, people in Vietnam, hell even Puerto Rico. Oh, how the educated seem so miseducated. And it angers me that they only go into depth of what they did to Native Americans and African Americans. Maybe because it happened in the U.S. soul, but it still doesn't justify the actions they committed under other countries. How U.S. forced their religion by torturing them, killing anyone over 10, then telling kids that U.S. is their savior. How the teachers in the Philippines tell you to go to the U.S. to have a better life, when really they're the one that caused them to think like that. Oh, how I wish the miseducated were educated with the truth.
Shots of the weapons, the government's cavalry, the guns and their bombs all point towards you and me. Isn't it clear to see that we're not really free? Oppression from the start, education taught. They're keeping us clueless and they're keeping us dumb. Now we're jobless and homeless and we living like a bum. And we can't protect our land, the land in the hands of the man named imperialism, me and you. We are the masses, on the very bottom, the lower classes. We need to stand together and destroy these classes and get our land back under the white man's asses. Made from the tyranny of the God-given race, the master race, the power race, the race to the top. Getting higher and higher, they ain't never gonna stop. Cause manifest destiny ain't gonna let them control this, control that, to secure what they got. That's the reason we're here, living in fear. The reason why our motherland is bursting in tears. The reason why we don't learn that history here. Everything we learn about America is good, nothing about the torture, about the lies, about the cries, about the people who died. All for the country and the people like you and I, you and I. You and I went to this country for the better good. Yeah, we didn't know that our people died where they stood. Capitalism got us fucked up, controlled our economy, took the heart inside of me, mind, body, and soul. Working for the monopoly, and I was placed overseas in the land of the free. Me and you, we all the masses. On the very bottom, the lower classes. We need to stand together and destroy these classes. And get our land back into the white man's asses. We need to stand proud and loud. Everywhere we go, we gotta make a sound. Just to make a change and get homebound. To get to a land better than this. To get to a land better than this. To get to a land better than this. Without imperialism, that's all this is.
That feeds and rapes our mothers. The hand that controls the mind of our people. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. The hand that belongs to the man who forces us to forget who we are. The man who made 7-year-old me hate being Filipino. The man who made me embarrassed for having dark skin. The man who forced millions of Filipino Americans to forget their roots. The man who labels us as monkeys. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. The hand who has tricked 75% of Filipinos to love him. The man that made sure our people never had the taste of freedom. We all need to fight for our people. We all need to become one. Isang bagsak. Your struggle is my struggle. We all need to understand that it is our duty to fight. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to love each other and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. That's it.
I want you to keep in mind that I don't do this out of hatred, that my words are born out of love. I want you to keep in mind that I don't hate the U.S. in its entirety. I just hate the systems that are employed to benefit a few people by oppressing our people, so I can never trust these politicians. They're on a masquerade dancing like puppets controlled by our invisible enemies. So tell me, why I shouldn't equate them with crooks? We gotta debate and pick up the books, cause no matter which party, they're all the same. Putting on masks to play this game. Obama, adorning his little collar and noose, bows down to the wealthy. So we lose ourselves and our humanity. How can we choose? The lesser of two evils is still evil. He's from the party of donkeys, but he's acting like a monkey. Sees and does just as he's told. You know, I thought that he was one of us. Like everyone else had bought into his claims of change. I thought that the country would make huge gains, but now he just continues his predecessor's policies. It's no different from the Philippines regimes, from Emilio Aguinaldo to Benigno Aquino III, abusing us at the command of friends and enemies. There's barely anyone standing up in the name of stopping these. It's history repeating itself like a recurring disease. Philippines, but please. The real problem here is American capitalism, which birthed U.S. imperialism, goes hand in hand with racism, sexism, classism, and fascism. It's created classes of inferiors and superiors. It's put up barriers between us, kababayan, used and abused like pawns in a game of world domination. One nation under God, where is God? God damn it, I am pro-people. We raise it up like the Panthers. You can catch us after, rallying for the basic needs. Food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, education, and livable wages to pave a better road for the future ages. But our family in the States and abroad are still dying for change, while our revolutionary comrades around the world are cornered by militarized cops. I think about my pops, former USC man who was forced to cook because he had that Filipino look. And fuck Agent Orange. Learn about your struggle and point your muzzles. We're the 99%, hell-bent on systemic change, so we gotta collaborate and realize our oneness and our common struggles to bring unity back. Peace.
Ooh, this one? It's okay. Nah, just don't make me shit. Shh.
Y'all ready? So my poem's called Knowledge Have I Had It. Should I start now? Yeah. Poverty among the people like chains on our feet. Guns held by the powerful while people starve on the street. It's the guns, it's the money, it's all of these Fuck. All the nervous. Yep.
Can you speak louder, please?
Yeah, sorry. I'm hella nervous.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
You got this.
Poverty among the people like chains on our feet. Guns held by the powerful while people starve on the street. It's the from being poor and the poor from being free. There's a land with a plan that needs its people to lead. And if I could, I definitely would lend a hand in doing some cheese. But it's easier to say and much harder to do. If you really want some change, then it got to start with you. Who it is, who it's not. Don't get your tongue taken over or not. It's the cops, it's the laws, it's the people who watch our laws. It's the rules that blind our rights and the corrupt that choose right for wrong. Sorry. It's a crazy who wants to fight and the smart who influence through a song. It's a struggle. It's a struggle to go through troubles and they're dumb who are humble. But I shouldn't judge. I'm just a student who's trying to understand about the grains and the dirt and the sand on our land. When our history angers me with all our tragedies, and it's the sadness for no knowledge of our own history. And so many get confused. It's our people whom are abused. It's the obsession of power that blinds the masses and the brainwashed who teach most of our classes. It's the ones with the knowledge who have had it. Have I had it?
Alright, America, the land of opportunity, the land for the free, or so they say. The problem is that how come no one has ever asked how this country became so great, and why so many other countries fail to meet their people's needs? Even I, until this year, have not questioned why yet. There's even a big Then there's an even bigger problem that even the majority in the Philippines don't know the time that truth. Wait. Okay, read my handwriting.
Want to start over? Start over. Deep breath.
America, the land of opportunity, the land for the free, or so they say. The problem is that how come no one has ever asked how this country became so great, and why so many other countries fail to meet the people's needs. Even I, until this year, have not even questioned why. And there's even a bigger problem that even the majority in the Philippines don't know the true causes of their corruption. Many people have been brainwashed by the U.S. into thinking how much people have helped the Philippines. But they should really be thinking, did they really help? I asked my parents the same question, but then they didn't really seem to care. All they thought was, the U.S. was the one who helped the Philippines. Why do you think we were? They're the bad people. Then I told them, that's exactly it. They didn't help.
Does anyone want to go for Jade?
I'll go for her.
Oh my god, thank you.
So the title of my poem is called The Land of the Free, Home of the Brave. Alright. America, land of the free, home of the brave. As I sit in FHS 7th period, I begin to think, are we really free and are we really brave? I mean, I guess you can say that we're free, considering that we're sitting in class, listening to Santos talk, staring at the clock, waiting for the bell to ring, trying to finish that last minute homework assignment just to get a couple of extra points rather than actually learn something. While our cousins in the Philippines are constantly working just so maybe they can earn something, like a little money to put some food on the table, or maybe move up a tiny bit in this bureaucratic capitalist society. Now, does that ring a bell? And I guess you can say that we're brave, considering that we're trying to find all the courage within us to perform a spoken word piece in front of the class, but at the same time, trying not to embarrass our ass, while our cousins in the Philippines are trying to fight the elite, even though they are the mass. Now, I'll be honest, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm still writing this spoken word piece. I'm just trying to put my mind at ease. But then, all of a sudden, it comes to me. It all clicks. I think maybe we should all stop being lazy critics and do something about this society. I'm not just talking politics, I'm talking educate and open people's eyes and get them to realize what's been really going on. Because maybe if we open one person's eyes, they can open someone else's eyes, and the whole world won't be blind. But in order to do that, we need to grind. I mean, come on now, we're in the only Filipino heritage studies class in the nation, and we're trying to take as much notes as we can just to get by for Friday's exam. And we know damn well that once it's the weekend, everything that we just learned is going to go straight out the window. But our cousins in the Philippines are constantly in limbo, trying to get by in a country that has a corrupt government, and they can't speak up, because if they speak up, then they'll get beat up. Now, who sounds like the brave one to you? So, I hope all of you can think this through and through, but in order to do that, you need to be brave and free your mind. America, land of the free, home of the brave. Don't like?
Boo!
Yes, that's forceful move.
What is America? The land full of hopes and dreams, where happiness and success is guaranteed, where people are promised freedom, freedom from prejudice and poverty? Think again. Here's to America, the land of the free, free from equality, free from reality. Equality? Yet when an American troop has the audacity to rape or hurt a Filipino woman, he's found not guilty, or at the most, given a slap on the wrist. Let that man be any person of color, and you'll find them sentenced to death. Americans using Filipinos for target practice, no punishment. But the death of one American soldier is equivalent to the execution of a native prisoner. Here's to America. Home of the brave, brave enough to discriminate, brave enough to steal and hate. Americans are so brave that they bring in their army and police to suppress the Filipinos, stealing the nationalism the Filipinos had, prohibiting the appearance of their own flag in their own country, destroying the Filipino culture, granting death to those fighting for independence, taking away our birth-given names to make it more Americanized and easy for them to pronounce. Here's to America. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life of a liar. Liberty for those who can afford it. They deceive the Filipinos, controlling their education and the mass media. They propagate ideas that idolize the imperialists. And only the rich can afford to leave, to get educated and come back to educate the masses. The rest are left stuck. As for the pursuit of happiness, it's so close, but it will forever remain out of reach.
I don't have the time for this. This was from, it's like a month ago or something, I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Okay. A quote from LSG Davis, Company A, 20th Kansas. He says, "Their independence is dearer to them than life, as ours was in years gone by and is today." I'm sorry. Did I hear this right? Because like, LSG Davis says their independence, and he's saying the Philippines, is dearer to them than life, as ours, as America, was just years gone by and whatever. Who is free? The man with the cross, or the man tainted with the blood of his people? Filipinos, strong, struggling by the oppression of the Spanish and the priests, and now by us Americans. Does it hurt? No. How about now? As the Spanish digs in his knife to our fellow Filipino here, he says, does it hurt? Of course it hurts. Then again, who is free? The symbol paper, formed with signatures, will remain insignificant if the higher ups say it's just talk. I ask again, who is free? Filipinos, break these chains, liberate the blood and bones of your families, for them you are free.
My parents grew up in the same struggle. Growing up working class, trying to support a bank living. Eventually, they had to move
dad moved to the U.S. when he was in high school in the 80s, and my mom came also a few years later. They're trying to make something out of nothing. They worked in high school balancing their education and jobs. Throughout their first years in America, they were made fun of by white people, whether it be in class or anywhere else. They were being called names and making fun of their accents, saying, "You don't belong here in our land. Go back to where you belong." But isn't that what us Filipinos said when y'all came through in the 1800s, imperialized the shit out of our land, our people, and making them suffer until you got what you wanted? Y'all arrogant as fuck. Oh, my people saw this place as a window to opportunity, a place where oppression of white supremacists were guaranteed. It stuck to my parents' brains. If we weren't accepted as Filipinos, we had to be like them. Good old cultural assimilation. My parents got together and had me and my siblings through a whitewash. The clothes that we wore, polo shirts and jeans. What we ate for lunchables. What we listened to, judicial fears, the police, and journey. All I knew about my roots was that, for one, obviously I was Filipino. Two, my parents talked in their native tongue, who never taught me. And three, we had the food of our people. That was it. My parents always said, stay away from the sun, wash your face with papaya soap all the time, straighten your nose, all that. If I'm not accepted from society, then so be it. So what if they don't like Filipinos? It's something I'll cope. It's better than being someone and not scrubbing your face with papaya soap.
Okay. You're caught up in your world of make-believe, running down that same old street of misery. You claim that long old tale that strikes to my very soul and doesn't even leave space for misbelief. Boom, like a gun shot in an instant, falling over and over and over again down that rabbit hole into Wonderland. I've been caught up in your tale yet again, believing that same old story you told me once before, trying to get me to follow you into the very depths of the sea, but I can't see. I can't see the end that you promised me, so I say with unveiled certainty that there will never be a hope or even a glimmer of it for me. For this nation I've come to love, come to call my home, this place, this one and only place I've ever known. Oh, Uncle Sam, how you spun your same old tale of trust, freedom, equality, just to screw me and abuse me, to use me, and now I'm sitting here all alone in this pile of rubble I call my home, and I wonder, where is my identity?
My phone doesn't have a title because I didn't think about one. Okay. I stand here at 1 p.m. justifying why the world turns you away with a blind eye, why your oceans are the most beautiful shade of blue that I've ever seen in my entire life, and how the curve of your islands is the best curved line on this planet, right next to the beach, of course. I stand here speaking about you with crimson red liquid racing through my veins, determined to capture a meaning. Why does everyone keep hurting you? With my heart and soul, I speak about you when my mind is full of crazy, insane, unexplainable thoughts, foggy and senseless, because during these moments I ask myself, why is it so painful to see you? Someone who's so far away. But I know what I'm doing isn't enough, and I cry. Envy filled with murderous desire hidden by the mask of anonymity has been out for you. You've been defiled, raped, and tortured. Yet he's still hungry even when he sees the end. He takes nothing but your innocence from your people to the trees, molesting them as if they need nothing, like a toy, and then tosses you away. Why do you put up with him? I know you better than that. I get asked, why do you want to go back? There's nothing there. Stop dreaming. I tell them, how can you ask something like that for me? That's my home. That's where we come from. I would rather be happy and live in my fantasy, even when I know the truth behind reality. With you, I don't feel butterflies in my stomach. No. I feel a million stars exploding in my chest all at the same time. Happiness and glee just at the thought of you. Please promise me you won't stop fighting. Don't give yourself to your oppressor. He's just taking advantage of you. He just wants your resources. It's funny how thinking about where you truly come from can make you change the way you see the world. When you realize how messed up it's become. I've always had someone try to push me away, but I don't understand. What's so bad about you? Because you're the reason I want to spend my days painting the skies your favorite colors and teaching the birds to sing your favorite song. And here I am painting the skies away with your favorite colors and gathering all the little birds to teach them your song. And here I am saying that I'm proud to come from such a strong country and I would change every fiber of this world for you. I love you today, and I love you tomorrow, and every day after my home.
This is the battle of my class. Started in the Philippines, Spain came to conquer. Battled on the beach to see who was stronger. Blood was shed, Spanish men were dead. Lapu-Lapu Magellan would fight till the end. Lapu-Lapu grabbed his machete, it was time for him to get ready. Magellan had his sword, he just fight to win his war. Lapu-Lapu was stronger and faster. Magellan would bow down to his master. Lapu-Lapu was a national hero while Magellan stayed a zero.
P-I-L-I-P-I-N-O. Filipino in my blood, born raised with a love. Every day, every night, I would think of the fight. With my blood in the blood of the land that I love. Which side do I choose? Which one is defined? Cause every day that I walk, through the time that I spent, all I seen were these stories that America sent. And the style that we have is connected with them. And the mindset of we're not better than them. Wait, hold up, we're much better than them. But the corrupt system has been failing to send president with them, thinking money instead of people over money, and this money cost that. Think about it, cause the people is dead. And all these random white people came around to digest our hard work, homeland, and the people we made. Wait up, hold up, who are they, who am I? I'm confused myself, cause these damn old people say, help yourself, but in the meaning, it's diminish our people instead. Damn, let me hold up my rhyme. Nabuhay ako sa lupa na to at walang tao makukuha ito. At araw-araw makikita ang pag-ibig na to. At araw-araw paglalaban ng pag-ibig na to. Buhay ko, buhay niya, buhay ng tao dito. Paglalaban hanggang mamatay na ako. 3 stars, 1 flag, F-I-L-I-P-I-N-O. Forever, I'll be.
Aguinaldo made a deal with you that you refused to put in writing. You told him to trust America. You were supposed to rid us of the Spanish, then leave. Instead, you stayed, destroy our country, kill our people, take our land and resources. You deceived the people of this once beautiful land. After the Spanish left, you raised your flag, symbolizing we are now yours. You have turned us all against each other, fighting, yelling, and killing. Our family and friends kidnapped, raped, killed, and tortured. You have turned this country into hell for everyone in here. You slaved us and exploited us. We cannot say what we want because we will be kidnapped, tortured, and killed. I hope you're happy for ruining our beautiful place.
I'm going to be your instructor. On what, you might ask? On everything that's not very important to everyone here. For all you smart-ass individuals out there, please shut the fuck up. In this country, no one cares about the individual. We're not being based on being different. It's teamwork from here. Now, let's move on. Now, does this sound like your average history teacher? There are more pressing matters for people of color in this country. Let me ask if you all know your people's history. From the beginning of our history, the Filipino side, the beginning where we were known by our 8 points and 3 stars, we've been bathed in blood from half our flag to all of our people. It's a wonder why our flag isn't flipped yet. From the killing of our children, the slaughtering of the youth, to the massacre of the hacienda. Killings, you ask? Are you a person of color? I'd like to ask you instead. Wait. I said, all you smart-ass individuals out there, shut the fuck up. No, now, on the lesson. The United States is a savior to all. They don't give a shit. Oh, wait, whoa, flip too many pages. You know, those phones you all love? America made those. America made those so people forget how to talk to each other. You know the Philippines? America liberated that too. America liberated the Philippines, my ass. America stole the Philippines and killed our people. All the death of the innocent because of a childish pet government that can't rule themselves but puts the blame on the masses. Like a child that doesn't listen to his parents. Like a leech looking for trouble and the blood of the people. Taking our love and our history. Suppressing the news to the public that the Spanish regime was just renamed and taken over by a new owner. But wait, I know not a lot of people in here care about that. So let's bring this to something closer to home. Let's bring this to school and everyday life. Who here was taught never to speak out of line, like a soldier that's only trained for the one job? Have you ever questioned what your job's supposed to be? Work. All you're needed for is work. Y'all like brand name clothing too? Everything on social media about how you need to look and how you need to act. All these things stripping and replacing your roots. Because here in America, they don't give a shit about your roots. They don't give a shit about how you got here. It's only about imperializing your mind. Brainwashing to keep you dumb and ready to work. Making you fear standing up for yourself and others, rewarding you for using papaya soap and looking white, making you think that you need makeup, nice eyebrows, blonde hair, and skinny waist to be labeled beautiful. All this in hopes of achieving the American dream. But be careful, because the owners of this country know it's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. And now, listen to the nervousness in my voice as I speak these last few words to you. And I want you to question, why do I not really care about these spoken words today about my people written by my peers? Because I know not a lot of people in here really care. But question yourself, why don't you?
Loved and admired, used and abused, people often neglect the sufferings of people, especially the women. In an imperialist society, people tend to forget the role of the women. We are people, human. We are not your slaves, we are not your puppets. The brutal treatment of women has been universal and constant. We shall infer that the amount of suffering which has been done and is borne by women is utterly beyond the imagination. The capitalist class has always had this policy of divide and rule on the grounds of race and sex in order to more successfully exploit the working class as a whole. The man always has to be the breadwinner. If not, he'll be inferior. The women either worked shitty jobs or stayed home with the kids. When the onset of recession occurred, women were to be returned home and men were given the jobs. Why? Why the fuck should women have to take a seat just to watch men take over? I have dreams and aspirations. I'm a priority just as much as the next person. Do not tell me who I can and can't be. Do not act like you know the sufferings of the women. We are not your slaves. We are not your puppets. We are not only here for your enjoyment. We are people, human. We will not be silenced, and we will work till we give out. We will always strive for equality. So get the fuck off your high horse and see.
U.S. imperialism, one of the three causes for the suffering of the Filipino people, the reason why starvation, police brutality, and death are increasing problems of that country. You show up at my country, promising me independence and justice, but just like that, you become the very monsters you were trying to protect us from, sending who knows how many troops to help us. And right when your backup comes, you start acting like you own the fucking place. From the words of McCain, I was told that the sole purpose of the U.S. coming over was to civilize us, treating us as if we were animals. Sadly, it took the deaths of a few Filipino people for people to actually start caring. Bitch, don't come over here with your false pretenses and telling me that I can regain independence and protection when you're just going to take that shit away from me again. That is sad, the fact that you have to use lies and the means of force to win respect. You don't have everyone fooled. I see through your veil of lies, trying to win over my country like some guys. Don't restrict me from doing the things I do on a daily basis. I'm not just some plaything that you can mold into your ideal citizen. Fuck that, I'm not going to be another one of your brainwashed slaves. I will enjoy the company of my brothers. I will enjoy the debuts of my sister. I will say po after speaking to my lolas and lolos. And yes, oh yes, I will eat rice with all my Filipino foods. So yes, it's different, and yes, you've never seen anything like it, but it's a regular for me, so whether you have a problem with it or not, you will deal, because I am a Filipino.
Mikey, you're in the hole, and Joshua, you are...
I'm in the lower hole.
Right outside the hole.
Can I come in the hole? No, not like that.
So bear with me, I'm not really good at this stuff. Division. I hate division. It cuts, it bruises, it kills. They keep us silent, arrogant, stupid, dumb, and divided. They teach us, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, this is all mine. So we'll plant in our minds that the thought of sharing, helping, or giving makes us think twice. They sit down, talk about an empire, while we fight each other in their favor, not giving a fuck about anyone else. The perfect plan for a place like this. Keep us occupied, keep us busy, keep us divided. Let them do our job. Here's a story. If I have a friend with this work, I get in trouble. They say it's wrong. What if I want he or she to pass with me? Why can't we get the same grade so we can both pass, succeed, or get good grades for the future? Oh yeah, because it's cheating. Because helping someone out is cheating. Can't you see? They don't want any of us to see together. They know that we are stronger together. That's why they keep us divided. Look around, the states, schools, groups, classes, desks, divided. I know that all of you want to win, pass, or succeed, but why can't we all do together with our community? Why only you? This divide doesn't restrict itself just today. For example, the one thing the Philippines lacked that prevented them from beating the Spanish was unity, the sense of community. Spain kept them so they wouldn't come together, fight together, none of that. We have to get rid of that barrier. It's not that hard. Everyone can help. Leave no one behind. Show them what we can do together if we stay together. Because as long as we are divided, we're doing what they want. They will keep pushing us around, and we will get nothing done.
A Filipino, lower class of Spain. Spain? Oh, Spain, the people that act like we have no brains, the ones that made our life shit, but when we come together, we are the shit.
That's you going for dramatic effect.
No, I lost track. Okay. The ones that made our life shit, but when we come together, we are the shit. As in, like, a clique. Together we could do things nobody knew. Not just that we don't take shit from nobody, like Lapu Lapu, the rebellious chief who refused to obey the king of Spain because we didn't want the pain. Magellan comes and he tried to take our land. We said, fuck that, I'd rather cut off my own hand. You see the society of the Philippines, the word of sticking together like marriage with 2 rings? We work together, help one another. Reasons why we help one another. Reasons why we handshake, because we are like blood brothers.
Yeah.
The title of my piece is called Ignorance is Bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Such true words. They are a comparison between a sweet, tender lie versus a rotten, unavoidable truth. These words revolve around my head just like how the earth orbits as we wake up from bed. This world is a lot darker than we know. For when are we really going to expose such horrible truths from below? Pride is not such a wrong thing in the right heart. But with American pride and patriotism, with the red, white, and blues, we're actually more torn apart than we know from our roots. Now, terrorism to me in the past was some dude with either bombs or a gun. But in all honesty, some people who spread the truth, for example, like moms or their sons, are the ones who are labeled as terrorists. Ignorance is bliss. How long will it take to let the people think for themselves, speak for themselves, live for themselves, or even fight for themselves? It's hard trying to be who you are when there's people like us, or more accurately, the US, who are trying to make you favor this shade of color, white. What about the minority, who are labeled as brown, black, yellow, or red? We the people are misled. Now that to me is true terrorism, misusing education as some diabolical mechanism, turning us, the people in the land of the US, into workers to build their empire as they take over our land and resources, and what is left? An American flag above all the fire. Those who say God bless America, I have something to say to your spreading stigma. Let we the people learn and be rid of your net of ignorance, for we the people wanting to be more conscious. I think it's time to change our intake of social media, and instead of having the government take control of our minds and spreading all that bullshit, we will continue to use education as a tool for the people, just as it was meant to for those who want to listen and are able. It is our duty to educate with our brains. It is our duty to fight for our families that is in pain. It is our duty to win with all the rage inside of our veins. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Ignorance is no longer bliss, but a tool of an oppressor. So don't let class, school, or even homework from a professor rule how you think or drag you into darkness. Rather help others with correct education so we can rise into greatness. Ignorance is bliss. So let's change that. Ignorance stops with acceptance. Thank you.
No bites, no bites. Yo.
Parents want good kids, someone who will listen, learn, grow, love. And children want good parents, someone who will listen, learn, grow, and love. Now let me tell you what I see, think, and feel. I want parents who just feed, clothe, and have a roof. No, not just those. I want presents. Not presents, but presents. For them to be with me, but not the gifts that they give as a way to say, sorry, I couldn't make it. And they rationalize that they need to work in order to make sure I have all the stuff that I need. But I don't need the nicest clothes or the newest gadgets to make me happy. I just want to feel that they care enough to be there when I need them. And then when I ask why they can't be there, they would answer me with, be grateful that you're here in America, where we can have a better life. Wait, hold up. Be grateful for America, the same America that came to our homes and burned them down, The same America that shot at our families and friends, my own parents, and then told them when they had enough bloodshed to come and live in America where they don't have to be scared of being shot at. Then they ran looking for salvation only to find when they got to America that they were not alone. They learned that Vietnam was just one of the many countries on an endless list to be imperialized. So I am sorry that I'm not grateful for the fact that now we are in America where they forced my parents to work so that I can live their ideal of a good life. Because all I want is to feel that you will be there when I need you the most.